At this point, I traveled to get some more testing, and that resulted in some medicines to try. The scans and things showed damage to the left temporal lobe of the prefrontal cortex, which affects cognitive function, and also showed an overactivated amygdala, which affects sensory processing. So I'm using thunder again here as sort of a foreboding sense that more problems are on the way. Then as I'm moving some bowls around, just the two bowls clanking into each other makes this really loud breaking glass sound, which kind of can give a startle effect to the viewer. And that was essentially the effect I would get from such a small noise as that, the two bowls clinking together. And then the larger sounds would be so intense that I would get sick and have symptoms and things. So later, there was this particular time that I was out jogging, and the sounds, you can hear those kind of kids playing in the background. The sounds of that and just kind of people talking was starting to kind of become like that bowl clinking together. Next, I show the sound of a barking dog, which I think was possibly in the same day. And the sound of that was so loud that, yeah, I just immediately kind of started getting sick from it and nearly had to go home. Just the sound of the ambient noise here, there's kind of a swell in the volume of just the wind and the traffic. And then finally, one time when I was out jogging the last time, someone started a chainsaw, and this, I couldn't tell where it was, but there was one person doing a chainsaw, someone else was doing some other kind of power tool, and I basically had to run home as fast as I could to try and get away from the noise, and was in bed for quite a while. And that was the last time I went jogging because it was just too risky, essentially. Because sure, it's uncomfortable to feel sick, but the problem was that I just didn't recover from a lot of these things. If it was too big of an incident, then I had what I would call a downgrade event, which would result in lost abilities. So I remember some testing one time, cognitive testing, over a couple days, left me within a week of not being able to follow recipes anymore. And then that didn't come back until a year later. So after this, basically everything became a sound problem. Closing a door, just putting away silverware, blenders, motors, things falling down, clanking together, a lot of cooking noises, coffee machines, sliding of a chair, the microwave, fans, vacuums, faucets, and it kind of speeds up at the end to show that there's just more and more. After that, I show that there are lots of earplugs and earmuffs being used to kind of combat the sound sensitivity. And sort of just as that's starting to come on, light sensitivity starts joining on the bandwagon. You see here that it's getting too bright, much too bright, from just through the windows of the outside. And that marks the end of going outside. Next is mourning the loss of the outside.